Molly Conrad will be with us in just a little bit here on the program. We'll have our Masters draft coming up later in the program. Molly won last year's competition.
Yes, she did.
So we'll go back to the draft board and see if we can unseat her as the champion. Also want to throw out congratulations that Molly won our office NCAA
Molly
tournament bracket.
Woo!
Thank you.
It's great.
Feels good to be a winner.
Molly Damas. You like that?
That's fine.
We'll go Molly Damas. Congratulations, Molly. How are you going to spend your winnings?
It's going to go in savings.
Okay. Hey, smart girl.
That's no fun.
No, it's not.
You gotta have a little bit of mad money, right?
Why don't you invest in a Runza franchise? We'll start one down here.
Actually, that's not a bad idea.
So glad I said it out loud.
Well, last night was a big night in Southern California because it was Mike Trout bobblehead night there at the stadium.
That's a big night.
That will be what everyone will remember from last night's Braves-Angels game, right? The bobblehead.
Sure.
Yeah, it's the bobblehead.
Or the fact that Trout on bobblehead night went hitless.
Well, he went hitless, and he didn't get hit during the brawl, and he was a peacemaker during the brawl.
Yeah.
So those are things that you need to remember. If you missed it last night, which I'm sure our audience did not miss it, anytime that you get a fight in hockey, anytime you get a baseball brawl, I'm all for it.
Oh, it was great.
It's great. Takes us back to the old days when guys weren't pansies. And they didn't have all the same agents, and they would get pissed off and they would charge the mound.
I was torn though. You got two boys when they were fighting. Did you let them fight?
Yes.
You just let them.
Yes.
Let them handle it. Let nature take its course.
Absolutely.
And I felt like a dad last night because I'm watching Soler, and I love Soler for what he did and the contributions he made for that 21 championship team. But Ray Lopez is also my pitcher. I understand why he took exception to it. I actually appreciated the fact that real haymakers were thrown and a couple actually got delivered, which will probably be to the detriment of my player who will get suspended.
Well, I was going to say, you just hope that Lopez, with him having the baseball in his hand, didn't break one of his phalanges and that he would be out for 6 weeks.
He was favoring the hand a little bit when he went off in the dugout, but a lot of adrenaline at that point.
Sure.
But I'm really proud of my manager.
Yeah, we'll get into that. So if you did not see it last night, the Braves did win the game against the Angels 7-2. Ozzie Albies hits his third home run of the season. Ronaldo Lopez struck out 7 in 4 2/3 innings before he was ejected after a bench-clearing brawl. Now, the brawl, former Brave Jorge Soler, he homers in the first inning. It was the 5th home run of his career in 23 at-bats against Lopez. So he really has his number at the plate. Okay, so he comes back to at bat in the 3rd inning. He gets hit by Lopez. Then in the 5th, Soler went after Lopez following a high Titan wild pitch. This is the way it sounded right here on Jocks on the Braves Radio Network.
And now here comes Soler. They're going to start to fight. They're throwing blows. We got major differences here as they're throwing haymakers. And now a big pile on the first baseline. Soler was hit by a pitch in the 3rd inning, and we got a riot here in L.A. Here come the bullpen spreading in from left field, and a pile-up on the first base line. In the blink of an eye, that turned into a heavyweight bout with Soler and Lopez throwing blows at each other.
Look who's got Soler. Walt Weiss restraining Jorge Soler. Not easy to do.
That's the way it sounded last night here on Jocks. That's why you need to listen to Braves baseball on Jocks, because you never know when a boxing match is going to break out.
No, you don't. It was interesting because of Soler and his relationship with that organization, because that was 2 stints that he had with the Braves. So many guys that knew him. You had Travis d'Arnaud on the other side that was longtime Brave and kind of known as the peacemaker in the clubhouse. It was interesting that it was mostly Braves that were trying to manage both sides. And it was also interesting that the Angels, knowing the relationships of all of these players and past relationships, let them have it.
Mm-hmm. They did.
Yeah, you guys know these guys better than we do. Break it up.
You heard on the broadcast, and you probably saw the video, that Soler was tackled, and he was tackled by the manager of the Braves, Walt Weiss. This is Walt Weiss after the game talking about what happened.
We were teammates here, but that's a big man. And so I just felt I got to get him off his feet because he's going to hurt somebody. And so that was just, that was my instinct, just to get in there and get Georgie off his feet. Because he was he was on the warpath.
That was Walt Weiss.
Black belt in karate.
After his tackling of Jorge Soler.
I was thinking about texting the still shot to you and Bill Clark to say, hey, would you approve of this as a form tackle? Is this a coach safely type of tackle? Because the head was up.
Yeah, that's what
he slid. It looked like he had slid the head to the side, and then he had both arms there around the legs of one Jorge Soler, or Georgie.
Yeah,
as he likes to call
Georgie. Brought him down. Most important thing of the night was that the Braves won. So they ended a 3-game skid, and they ended Los Angeles' 3-game winning streak. So tonight, or I should say this afternoon at 3:05, that will be the first pitch as the Braves wrap up the road trip.
Yeah, and it was good to see middle relief once again and what they were able to do from Kenley coming into the game, and then you had Dylan Lee, you had Suarez, and then you had I thought Iglesias did a really good job of coming in.
Yeah, almost 2 innings in relief.
Yeah. Late. So the Braves, at least their pen continuing to hold up, and for the most part, Lopez minus the jack that he gave up to Soler. Pretty solid outing. It wasn't like Chris Sale the night before. So good to get back on the winning side of things.
So we'll see if the Braves can wrap up a winning road trip with a victory this afternoon there in Southern California. Transfer portal basketball, that continues to be something that we're watching very closely. Some news out of Tuscaloosa. Jalil Bethea, he transferred to Tuscaloosa from Miami. Only averaged around 4 points per game. He was kind of banged up through the year. He's announced he's heading into the transfer portal. Still not really sure what Amari Allen's going to do. A recent mock draft came out this morning, said that he is currently number 22, according to this mock draft in the upcoming NBA draft. So he's got a decision to make. He averaged 11 points per game. We already told you that Aiden Sherrill and Taylor Bowen, they are in the transfer portal from the University of Alabama. ESPN ranks Aiden Sherrill as the 18th best player. Remember, yesterday he was the 6th. But how about this stat for you? As of this moment, 45% of all college basketball players are in the portal.
It's insane.
45%.
I don't know what the number was last year, but without even knowing that number, I started looking at the names and the amount of household names that you're getting. I'm not talking about 12th, 13th guy that managed to get a scholarship. Really good players. And the market is upside down from what I've heard from at least one coach. It is completely insane.
No, it is. And just the point of reference, so yesterday I told you that Aiden Sherrill, according to On3, he was the 6th best prospect in the transfer portal. And within 24 hours, he's now the 18th.
Yeah.
Because you're seeing not only the quantity, but the quality of players that are going into the transfer portal. And we talked about it yesterday before we went off the air for Social Taco. Landrum was telling us about news from Auburn in which Jovic is going to go in the transfer portal. And Justin Hokanson, he reported yesterday afternoon from auburnsports.com that the number that he wanted from Auburn was $2 million.
Yeah.
$2 million.
And so he's not grabbing that number out of thin air.
No, he's looking at the value in the marketplace.
He is absolutely. So if a guy like Jovic, if somebody is willing to pay $2 million plus for a guy like Jovic, what do you think they're willing to pay for an Aiden Sherrill?
Yeah.
Or a Flory Badunga?
Yeah. Good point. Auburn did get some great news yesterday afternoon, and it was trending this way, but Auburn officially made it official with a press release that Kevin Overton, he's announced that he is returning to Auburn. He was named the NIT's most outstanding player. He did a breakout season this year, first year on the Plains. He averaged 14 points per game. He shot 45% from the floor. Really turned it on during the NIT. Made himself a good bit of money.
Yeah, he did. And I don't know Kevin Overton. I haven't really heard that much about him. Just watching him play and how he carries himself on the court, aside from the three-point shooting, he seems like he's a good team guy and a good guy to have around.
He made 95 three-pointers this year. That is the 7th most three-pointers in the history of Auburn basketball in a single season.
Pretty solid.
95. Not bad at all.
No, considering the company he's in.
He scored 20 or more points 11 times this year. So I know a lot of the press was going to obviously your two guards that scored the most amount of points, but Overton, 20 or more points 11 times.
Well, and he struggled because early in the season or points of the season, it was kind of like that Auburn basketball team. I think Kevin Overton finding his role and what he was. And then you saw in the NIT that really opened up because they didn't have a Keyshawn Murphy and they could run the offense through Overton. And that's where he flourished. What, 48% that he shot late from behind the arc?
Sure did. He shot 41% for the season, but he upped his game in the NIT.
Yeah.
So showed his ability.
That's a big get for Stephen Pearl.
Meanwhile,
everyone kind of your anchor
is still waiting on Tahad Pettiford. All indications are that is going to be a wait-and-see situation there. Feeling is that Auburn will pay whatever his value is. Auburn feels like they're in a good space based on multiple reports.
There's a long relationship, and that goes back to Bruce Pearl and Tahad Pettiford's dad, his parents. And I'm guessing that's continued. But ultimately, if somebody is willing to pay $1 million, $2 million more per year, that's something that Tahad and his family are going to have to listen to.
When almost 5 of 10 players on a basketball team are in the transfer portal,
yes,
that's why you should just take everything with a grain of salt with everything we're talking about. Because take, for instance, Elijah Freeman. Freeman told the media after the NIT game he was locked in. Yeah. Well, now all indications are is that he's shopping his services.
Of course.
Which they all do. There's nothing wrong with what Elijah Freeman's doing. So need to pump the brakes thinking that it's a slam dunk that he's coming back. And that goes for every team.
Well, and then you had another addition this morning to Auburn, and there was speculation because of the tournament and how much more play he was getting. But Caden Magwood has decided that he is going to enter the portal.
Yep.
Probably saw that one maybe coming. But with all of these guys, at the end of the season, you start listening to your representation, and they're telling you that they've talked to 5 other teams, and they really, really like you. There's going to be a lot of intrigue, and that's going to be attached to dollars.
Well, you also, and we talked about it yesterday, it has to be a reciprocal relationship. 1, the school wants to have you back, and 2, does that player want to come back? So it's not just a fact of let's blame the player. You don't know what kind of conversations the staff has had with that player. You know, I mean, that's the thing that I think we've all had to get used to over the last couple of years with the transfer portal, both football and basketball, is that, man, I can't believe he's leaving my school. Can't believe that. You know, why is he leaving? Well, what if the coach called him in the office and said, you know what? This is our budget. This is what we're willing to pay you. We understand that you're going to be worth a whole heck of a lot more money on the open market, but this is what we can pay. And then Landrum Roberts says, well, you know what? I love you guys. It's been fun, but if I can make 25 to 30, 50% more than what I'm making currently here, see ya. It's business.
And I understand that. I wonder, though, are there those guys where the money's pretty much the same at all of the different places? You're thinking about whether you're staying or you're going. You've been at a program. If the money's close to being the same, don't you think the personality of some of these guys, I remember like how I was at 18 to 23. Well, really 18 to 25. But thinking that, you know what? I want to do it just because it's different. Or I want to go somewhere just because it's different, just to see what it's like. I think there's probably some guys that are like that. And they're not thinking about maybe a little bit about the system that they're in. But, man, it'd be really cool to go play at that place for a year. All things being equal.
Possibly.
Aside from, or as opposed to being in a program, playing under a coach for a second year, going through that grind, it just seems like there's that intrigue, that fascination with the unknown.
Well, like, let's take Jovic, for example. We just basked in all of his glory of the way that he played down the stretch for Auburn, including the NIT, and we thought that would be a really nice piece for Auburn in this upcoming season. And he believes that he's worth a lot more. His agency believes he's worth a lot more, and he's in the transfer portal. Take someone like Jaleel Bethea at Alabama. Here's a guy that was banged up, didn't get the kind of opportunities that probably he wanted to have, but it was more of an injury situation than anything. And now he's getting in the portal. I was listening to Damian and Conrad this morning on the show, and they were talking about how it made no sense. And this was coming from Damian, not from the Alabama guy in the room. But Damian was like going, Bethea was all lined up to be like that next guy. Like he was going to be the guy that was going to be one of the starting five. He was going to be given all those opportunities to kind of grow and be the right soul and, to be the fine line or whatever the case may be in his development. And now he's leaving again. He's at Miami, come to Tuscaloosa. Now he's off to a third school.
Yeah, and you see that a lot with some of these guys. They don't either. He's got the mentality of there's something else that's better for me, or it's a money thing. I don't know. There's different decisions and different factors I know that weigh into all of these decisions. But just looking at the sheer portal numbers and the names and what we're hearing, at least what I heard yesterday from one coach about the market, I think it's going to make college football, as far as what happened during that transfer portal, it will pale in comparison to what we're going to get with basketball.
And not to mention the fact,
I think it's going to be outrageous.
I know we don't talk a lot about women's basketball. The University of Tennessee, the proud program that it is in women's basketball, they had 8 players go in the transfer portal yesterday. She's in trouble.
She's got, one roster player left?
I mean, she went 16-14 this year. And they had problems internally with that basketball team during the season. And then basically the whole team got into the transfer portal and left. Tennessee's not going to fire her this year, probably so next year if they go through what they did this year. But that's just a perfect example of the transfer portal in basketball for either men or women.
Well, spring weather in Alabama is often unpredictable, but you can always rely on a Train home comfort system. And during their Spring Unstoppable event, you can receive up to $1,350 rebate on select Train home comfort systems. Learn more and find a comfort specialist near you at train.com.
All right, setting the stage for what's going on this program today, 10:45, Brian Edwards from Vegas Insider. Doug Bell, live from Augusta. He will join the program at 11 a.m. Our final weekly visit with Chris Stewart, the voice of the Alabama Crimson Tide, brought to you by Craneworks. That's at 11:30. Trey Wallace, great friend of the program, covers college athletics for the Outkick website. He will join the program. We will talk to him about a myriad of topics, including college football and what just happened in the Final Four. All that is straight ahead on this edition of Three Man Front. So we're just talking about the transfer portal in basketball. University of North Carolina. It was a big day yesterday. Michael Malone was named the head coach of the University of North Carolina Tar Heels. There's been 7 North Carolina Tar Heel basketball players going to the transfer portal. Michael Malone's deal in Chapel Hill, it's a 6-year deal, $50 million. His salary will begin at $7.5 million in year 1. Malone's salary will increase to $8 million in the second year. It rises to $8.5 million for the next 3 years and reaches $9 million in the final year of his deal in the 2031-32 season. He can also earn an extra $1.5 million per year in performance-based incentives. So it's just another example. Obviously, North Carolina had a coaching change. Had a lot of guys that was loyal to Hubert Davis. Plus, it's just the transfer portal. It's going to happen. But 7 North Carolina Tar Heels in the transfer portal.
Not a big surprise. Be interesting to see what happens in Chapel Hill. Well, it is springtime. The warm weather is here, and that means the bugs are out, and that includes mosquitoes. That includes things like ants, roaches, some of the stinging insects. They serve a role in nature. Don't get me wrong, but it's not on your skin. It's not on your family. It's not inside of your home. Great news. We got our friends at Stark Exterminators, good old Southern company, 62 years. They've been family-owned and operated, and they're here to help you. It's really simple today. They're offering all of our Great Jocks listeners the free home or business pest inspection by simply calling 855-STARK now or go to starkexterminators.com. When you set up that free inspection, one of their talented team members is going to come to your home or your place of business, inspect it thoroughly inside and out, address any issues that you currently have, and then look out for any issues that could come up down the road. Once again, it's Stark, great company here in the South, 855 Stark now, 855 Stark now, or go to starkexterminators.com. And when you do, always tell them Landrum from Jock sent you.
Auburn's Board of Trustees are going to vote next Friday on a final approval for upgrades worth $323 million on the north side of the Jordan-Hare Stadium, according to materials presented to the board this week by the university's Committee for Facilities, named the Jordan-Hare Stadium North End Zone Multi-Purpose Event Center Edition. Wow. That's a mouthful.
It's a big acronym.
Yeah, we need to shorten that one. They're going to talk about this next week. It's the long-awaited next step to the stadium's renovations to the north end zone, which began last football season with a new video board. The initial proposal for a multi-purpose upgrade to the stadium was initiated back in 2024. A master plan by Athletics Director John Cohen for the past few years, the new Jordan-Hare Stadium add-on is set to introduce a 7-story, approximately 300,000 square foot building addition to the stadium with the new campus and game day kitchens, flexible dining and concession venues, a multi-purpose hall and ballroom, intentionally flexible spaces for campus and game day usage, and new club and premium suites, according to the materials presented to the Board of Trustees. Since the board approved architects and construction managers for the project last year, Auburn's Facilities Committee has now returned with official renderings of the multipurpose center, which carries a budget of $305 million from bonds and gift funds. Next week's vote will also include the proposal for re-envisioning the space outside Jordan-Hare Stadium. The North Plaza project carries a budget of $18 million per the Board of Trustees materials. 2 renderings were also provided for that project, which connects to the multi-purpose center. Landrum and I were watching and looking over this before we came in here in the studio to do the show. Very impressive. And I'm sure this will be approved. And so construction will begin as soon as possible. But it is very impressive what Auburn has done with the new video board and what they are now doing to the north end zone.
Yeah, 300,000 square feet. That's a lot, but that's 7 stories. No, it looks beautiful, and it ties in perfectly. I think.
Will Mike Griffith be happy that will that take away some of the pressure washing activity that needs to be done?
Well, I think that's what they were waiting on, Pat. They're waiting to get it done, and then they don't want to have to go back and do it. You know, some of that precast concrete, it can accumulate a lot of dust and dirt, especially in the spring and the summertime. So I think they're waiting for the power wash once this is completed. When is this supposed to be completed?
Let's see. No date.
Okay.
But obviously the construction companies and all have been approved. So now I think it's just a rubber stamp.
I got a pretty good idea of a couple that will be on that project.
Yeah, I think we can
I like it.
Yeah, doesn't it?
It's
It
nice.
looks nice, yeah.
We can go ahead and probably spray paint the names on the on the studio wall here of who will be doing that.
Yes. Yeah. The tower cranes will look great.
Yes, very much so. So that is big news coming from Auburn. Auburn's football team, they will not practice today. They practiced yesterday as they continue with their spring practice. It will be practice number 10 tomorrow for the Auburn Tigers. And a reminder, Friday at 11:30, Coach Alex Golish will be a guest on this program.
Yeah.
So we'll have an opportunity to catch up with Coach Golish and see how practice is going. He'll have 10 practices in the books.
I
with
like
this
Alex
football
Golish. He
team.
gives really good answers,
Mm-hmm.
like meaningful answers. He's telling you something.
You
It's not
don't-
just coach speak.
No, and you don't feel like he's trying to sell you something.
No.
Like Hugh Freeze was always trying to sell you something.
Well, yeah.
I've said it a million times. I mean, Hugh Freeze was televangelist. That's exactly what he was. Period.
Which televangelist would he be, most likely?
I'm not going there,
Don't do it.
I'm not
I
going
know. I was
to.
trying to set you up for failure, but
mean,
I was
but-
going to stop you.
but there's obviously the one that will jump
Yeah.
out to everybody in our audience.
Yep.
But I'm not doing
I
it.
remember that when I was a kid, and that happened.
That was big.
Yep. I never knew. You know who I used to think he looked like?
The one that got in trouble?
Mm-hmm.
Who?
Barry Switzer.
You know what? It's really good.
Yeah.
That's close.
Okay.
If Barry had a little bit more of a
Mhm.
more hair,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
More of a bouffant hair. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's good.
Pocket watch, that microphone.
Mm-hmm.
Call me.
What a time.
What a time.
That
And then
was-
we had the husband and wife couple.
Mm-hmm.
And then he temporarily had to be housed somewhere in Alabama before he was transported to his final destination.
Yeah,
going to the big house.
Yeah, there was all sorts of unsavory things going on back then in that realm.
They did a made for TV movie about the Bakers,
Mhm.
and it was really good. It was really well done.
You were a fan of Tammy Faye, weren't you?
Yes. That's where I get all my inspiration for how
For your
I
makeup.
dress my face every day. Yeah. A lot of mascara.
All right, when we come back on Three Man Front, it is Masters Week. A reminder, we'll be tomorrow at Twin Peaks. Hope you'll join us. We'll be there for the first round of the Masters. We'll get into a little bit about the Masters, what's going on over in Augusta, Georgia this morning. We'll talk to Doug Bell at 11 o'clock, our guy from Vegas Insider at 10:45. All that straight ahead on Jocks. It is 10:33 here on Jocks. Welcome back into the program. A reminder, tomorrow we'll be live at Twin Peaks. Hope you'll join us. Opening round of the Masters tomorrow. Should be a fantastic weekend over in Augusta. I know a couple of people that will be making the trip, and it is going to be Chamber of Commerce and then some weather over the next few days in Augusta.
Well, speaking of the weather is getting warmer. We're going to be in the 80s by this weekend. We're going to be in the 90s, and we'll probably be touching 100 before you can blink an eye. Well, that means your AC in your car, your vehicle, whatever you drive, is going to be running. You're going to be taking care of the family, and you want to make sure that whether you're going to the ballpark, whether you're going to the graduation ceremony, whether you're going for the family road trip to enjoy the summer, that the AC is working. Our friends at the Garage in Pelham, thegarageandpelham.com. That's who I am trusting for all of my family's automotive needs. Got to meet Bob, the owner. He's a wonderful human being, gives back to all kinds of charities locally as well as schools. And the folks he's got working there, just top notch. So it reflects the attitude that you're going to get there in the Garage in Pelham. It reflects the attitude of the leadership there and Bob and what they bring. There's a reason why so many folks from all over Alabama still bring their cars, trucks, and SUVs to be serviced by the Garage, because once they were here in Birmingham, they took care of them so well, they continue to go back. Right now, the $40 off coupon on the website, thegarageandpelham.com. All the new diagnostic machines that they have, all the new coolants for whatever you drive, they've got it. They also handle everything under the sun when it comes to your automobile. Check them out. It's our friends at thegarageandpelham.com. Always tell them Landrum from Jock sent you.
All right, so the Masters will get underway officially tomorrow. Rory McIlroy, he won last year's Masters in playoff over Justin Rose. McIlroy became the sixth to complete the career Grand Slam with Gene Sarazen, Ben Hogan, Gary Player, Jack Nicklaus, Tiger Woods. So last night they had the Champions Dinner. This is what Rory McIlroy told the press about Champions Dinner.
People keep asking me, why didn't you go more Irish? And I said, because I want to enjoy the dinner as well.
Wow. So a lot of people were asking the question, wow, why did he choose? Because sliders was part of the menu, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's hear it one more time, Molly. This is Rory McIlroy on his choice for the Champions Dinner.
People keep asking me, why didn't you go more Irish? And I said, because I want to enjoy the dinner as well.
The crowd loved it. What a great response.
Oh, and I think true in a lot of ways.
Mm.
That's just seasoning flavor. Right?
It's a tab.
Did you take offense to it?
Did I take offense to it?
As a proud Irishman?
I agree with it 1,000%. I mean, outside of potatoes, that's about it for me.
Yeah, I'm not a the shepherd's pie is good.
Nah, no thanks. No.
Only if FSU Dave makes it though.
Yeah. I'm sure I would enjoy his, but no, that's
European food. The only European food that I've really ever been attracted to is French and Italian.
Yeah.
It's never been like, man, I want to go over to the UK and try some of that fried fish.
I like Greek. Greek food?
Or Greek food.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Greek's good.
Scandinavian, not so much.
Like the pickled herring, to each their own.
Mm.
I mean, we eat Vienna sausage over here.
Fish and chips is really good over there.
Fish and chips.
Mm-hmm.
I had the best fish and chips ever in Harry Potter World. They're at
I think.
Well, there you go.
They were genuine, right?
Yeah.
They were absolutely genuine.
they were great.
Mm.
And I never eat fish and chips, but I was like, when in Harry Potter World, you do.
You have to. And did you get oh, wait, you don't like sweets. Never mind.
No, I didn't get that whatever thing.
The butterbeer?
No.
Yeah. It's non-alcoholic. I just was curious.
So if you are going over there, take a listen to this weather forecast for Augusta. Tomorrow, 73 degrees.
Oh, my gosh.
Now, there's going to be a east to northeast wind, 10 to 15 miles an hour, a little gusty.
For our viewers, you want to, just from experience, you can wear some shorts, but I would wear what Pat's got on right now for our viewers there on YouTube on Jocks TV with a little light windbreaker quarter zip. You want to layer, but you don't want to layer too much because it will get a little warmer when that sun comes out and you've had about 3 pimento cheese sandwiches.
So 73 degrees tomorrow, partly cloudy. Friday, 79, wind 5 to 10 miles per hour.
Oh, yes.
Saturday, 85.
Those greens are going to be fast.
Hard and fast.
Whoa.
85 on Sunday. So you got 73 tomorrow, 79 Friday, 85 Saturday, 85 Sunday. No chance of rain.
perfect.
Just absolutely incredible.
Yep.
Like this morning, watching them on the practice range, and I mean the wind was really bad today. I mean everybody was bundled up, and so they're going to try to get a practice round in today because today's wind is going to be very similar to tomorrow's wind. So you're trying to get out there today, try to get as many shots as you can to understand how you're going to play this because it's going to be almost the exact conditions tomorrow as it is today.
Just think about that kind of win when you're trying to putt in general, just playing golf, whether you're playing a municipal course or you're playing a private course. But 20-mile-an-hour wind gust trying to putt on a green that has a stimp meter of 12 to 13.
Remember we were talking yesterday during Pat Ponders about which shot you guys would be the most nerve-wracking, and you and I said it would be putting on 18.
There's no doubt.
Because there's no rain. Now, granted, they will water, but there is no rain. These things will be like putting on a tabletop.
Yeah.
Downhill. Good luck.
Good luck. I watched yesterday, I was on YouTube, and I saw Bryson DeChambeau, and he went, and I didn't know about this, but they call it Little Augusta, and it's Texarkana Country Club. A lot of players will play that because the course in some ways will simulate what they're going to get. And watching him play that course and his approach to Masters Week, what it's going to look like. I'll also say this. I have softened my stance on Bryson DeChambeau. Because that whole thing with he and Koepka, when they were going, wasn't he and Koepka,
Yeah.
they were going back and forth. But
I was always for DeChambeau in that one.
yeah.
I think Koepka's is a jerk. I don't
Seems
care for
like
him at all.
Like he could be that way at times. But Bryson DeChambeau, I really enjoyed watching him play that course. And it made me feel better as just a pedestrian golfer. I love to play, but made me feel better that some of the things that we encounter as the lowly weekend warrior, the pros still encounter it too.
Mm-hmm.
They still deal with it. They still thin shots.
Yeah, I was a little surprised last year DeChambeau faded the way he did, in the on Saturday and Sunday at the Masters because he had it going on first part of the tournament.
I wonder if Ty's ever played that course. That's what I was thinking about, the Texarkana, Little Augusta. I bet he has.
Text him. Ask him. He may have. I was coming to work today, and Jody, the painter to the stars, who joins us every Tuesday at Social Taco, he asked me a couple of weeks ago for Travis Lloyd's number to Bide Roofing, 205-577-7338. Happy to report that brand new roof is going on Jody's house because the insurance claim masters that is Abide Roofing, they got with his insurance company, they got on the roof, they got with an inspector and adjuster, and they were able to work things out. He had some loose shingles, had some plywood that need to be replaced. So a new roof is coming. And if you've got issues or you believe that you might have some loose shingles or some other problems, maybe some leaking in your attic, you need to call Travis Lloyd at Abide Roofing, 205-577-7338. Go to their website if you want more information there at abideroof.com. They put a new roof on my home about 2 years ago. I had storm damage, hail damage. So many of you are waiting for that next big storm to have your roof looked at. No, you need to do it now to make sure that if something happens in the near future, that you're covered and taken care of. Abide has earned a reputation of one of Birmingham's most reliable roofing contractors, delivering industry-leading quality backed by 5-star Google ratings from satisfied customers. So get started today. Travis Lloyd, Abide Roofing. I trusted my home. You should trust your home to Travis and Abide Roofing, 205-577-7338.
Our Vegas insider, Brian Edwards, he has got some favorites for the NBA as well as the SEC college football season win totals. This is the time of year we love. Brian joins us next on Three Man Front. 1046, three-man front, our Vegas insider, Brian Edwards. He has got all kinds of nuggets in store for us when it comes to the NBA, the college football season, and other things. Always a fun time with Brian. He's coming up in just a moment. But first, it is time for our Atlanta Braves Fact of the Day, brought to you by Braves Vision. On April 8th, 1974, Hank Aaron of the Atlanta Braves hit his 715th career home run in a game versus the Dodgers, breaking Babe Ruth's home run record that had stood since 1935. Aaron would, of course, go on to hit 755 career home runs. How about Braves Vision? It's your new TV home for the Atlanta Braves. We have it at the Roberts House. You can have it with you as well. It's owned and operated directly by the Braves. Braves Vision is going to air more than 140 Braves games throughout the 6-state TV territory, including Alabama, and you can watch games live or on demand. Last night during that fight, on demand was great. We got to go back and see every single punch that was thrown. Wonderful. Multiple game re-airs, and they'll also get pregame and postgame shows with the same faces that we know and love. DirecTV, Xfinity, Uverse, Spectrum, and Fubo, all available to you here in Birmingham and throughout the state of Alabama. The Braves want to remind you, if you cut the cord, don't have cable, you can also stream Braves Vision games with Braves.tv and that subscription. So check them out. $19.99 a month, $99.99 for the season, only 70 cents a game. Find out all your ways to watch. Get more info at braves.com/watch.
We're going to be joined by Brian Edwards momentarily from MajorWager.com, also Vegas Insider on the program. A little bit of news. The SEC just announced moments ago the SEC Kickoff Media Days down in Tampa, Florida. That will be July 20th through the 23rd. The list of schools and when the coaches will speak. Alex Golish will go the second day of Media Days, which is on Tuesday, July 21st. Kalen DeBoer and Alabama will be on Wednesday. So in the middle of the SEC Football Media Days, it will be Alex Golish on Tuesday, Kalen DeBoer on Wednesday. Remember last year we had fun with the Texas A&M folks because nobody was left in Atlanta on the final day. The final day, which I think they played it smart, this year Lane Kiffin and Steve Sarkisian will be on the final day of SEC Football Media Days.
Nobody's leaving early.
No. And kicking it off will be Kentucky, Mizzou, Oklahoma, and Tennessee on the Monday.
That's one of those. We'll sneak a couple in here because we got you here.
Absolutely. Joining us now on the Higginbotham Hotline from MajorWager.com, Vegas Insider, our main man, Brian Edwards, joins us on the program. Brian, I hope you're well on this Wednesday.
Doing well, guys. What's happening?
Not a whole heck of a lot. Just quickly before we get into some potential wagers and whatnot, just wanted to ask you what's going on with the transfer portal with the Florida Gators basketball team. Any big surprises, any big shocks so far?
Well, Micah Handlockton hit the portal, but it's not even known if he's going to get a waiver for another year eligibility. You guys will remember, I guess we're talking 2 seasons ago now, when he was going to redshirt, but then came back with like 8 games left in the regular season because we had a couple of bigs injured. So maybe he has somewhat of a case, but, you know, we don't know about the other big guys, and certainly if he's going to stick around college one more year, probably can get more money and more playing time elsewhere because the Gators hold out hope that Condon and Chinyelu will return. And I haven't ruled out maybe even Thomas Houck returning, although most people think he's gone.
Brian, what was your thoughts about how the college basketball season ended with Michigan taking home the crown?
I went 2-2. It was a wash for me. I had Terrace Reed over rebounds, was an easy winner. His points, I needed 2 more. He went 4 of 12 from the field, kind of frustrating, so I lost that one. And then I won UConn plus the points, but I lost the over. So it was a wash for me. And, yeah, so not enormously thrilled or enormously disappointed. It was just kind of whatever.
All right. You also do a lot of great work with Southeastern 16. Blake Lovell and all those folks, they do a great job covering all things Southeastern Conference. I understand that you'll be producing a video a little bit later in regards to some football win totals. And since we're just talking about SEC Football Media Days, I wanted to go there quickly before we got some basketball picks for the next couple of days in the NBA. Let's start with Alabama. Alabama right now, their win total, it's probably the lowest I have seen it, maybe since maybe the second season of Nick Saban in Tuscaloosa. And currently it's at 8.5. It's early, but do you have a feeling or maybe a play one way or another on the 8.5 wins for Alabama?
Well, I definitely need to do a little more roster studying, but just looking at the schedule, it looks very manageable for Alabama. I mean, I see them favored at least 8 times.
8 times, okay.
And, I mean, y'all would probably say that you'll be favored against A&M at home as well. I mean, and so that would probably be a ninth one. We'll see the Georgia game at home will be tightly lined. And then at LSU and at Tennessee, I mean, I would think you'd definitely be underdog at LSU. Not so sure on the Tennessee. Maybe a slight favorite there. You might be favored 10 times. So, but, I'm not so sure about your quarterback situation. But, I mean, the schedule's manageable. I mean, gun to the head, I'd probably lean over.
Okay.
Is that probably
Now,
where that
Auburn,
number derives
lean-
from? You just mentioned the quarterback, though. If Ty Simpson is the quarterback and coming back this year, what does that number look like? As opposed to
gosh.
8.5. Is that 9.5? Is that?
Yeah, at least, right? I mean,
I would
you
think
gotta
so.
it's at least
I would think
9.5,
9.5
maybe
at
10.
least. Yeah.
Okay.
9.5 and probably shaded with juice to the over. But yeah, definitely one game better.
All right. Other side of the state, the Auburn Tigers
Yeah.
win total projected 6.5. That's no easy schedule.
No, and I definitely lean under there. I mean, look, you've got guaranteed, major underdog spots at Tennessee, at Georgia, at Ole Miss, and at Bama. I say probably 5 games favored. I mean, at least 5. Baylor at home, Southern Miss, Vandy, Arkansas, and Samford, and probably tightly lined or just also known as toss-ups at Mississippi State and versus Florida. I mean, are you going to win all 7 of those that weren't the 4 tough road games? I doubt it. So I would lean under on Auburn.
Okay. So right now, early. This is early. Still some roster things got to look over.
Sure,
Got to get through the spring, the spring camps and things of that nature. But possibly manageable schedule for Alabama, maybe over the 8.5 wins, and the under of 6.5 wins currently for the Auburn Tigers. Just want to make sure got that right. Okay.
Yeah. I would definitely lean. I would say I like the Auburn under more than I like the Bama over.
Okay.
But,
all right.
but those would be my leans over Bama and Auburn under. Yeah.
Okay. Sounds good. All right. Let's talk about the Hawks and Cavs. And this is going to be very interesting as we're getting ready, for the playoffs. Tell us what you like in this Hawks and Cavs game.
So, I mean, obviously this time of year in NBA, you got to proceed with caution and worry about who's playing, et cetera. So the Hawks are playing great. They're 18-3 straight up in their last 21. All right. So the Cavs are 1 game back of the Knicks for the 3rd seed. But, look, Cade Cunningham might come back now. But regardless of whether Cunningham's healthy or not for Detroit, they're the number 1 seed. I'm guessing Cleveland wants to stay in the 4 seed and not be a 3 seed and have to play 2 seed Boston now that Jason Tatum's back. In other words, Detroit's the 1 seed, but I think everybody looks at Boston as the 1 seed, and certainly the odds makers do. So right now, Donovan Mitchell and James Harden are questionable for the Cavs, but I think the Cavs want to lose tonight. So I think they're going to get downgraded. I'm not going to bet it until they do, but when or if they do, then I'll be on the Hawks.
All right,
We're
quickly.
1.5-point dogs now, but when the Hawks will be favored if those guys get downgraded. But I don't care. I would still like the Hawks.
In 20 seconds or less, Grizzlies Nuggets.
Yeah, give me the over there. Grizzlies are fielding a G League team. The Nuggets have motivation tonight. Over's on a 6-2 run to improve to 49-30. Over 244 Denver and Memphis.
Brian, you're the best. Thank you. Chomp, chomp.
Thanks, guys.
Brian Edwards, our Vegas insider on the Higginbotham hotline. Use their solutions that are built for you. Higginbotham is your one-source solution for insurance, financial, and HR services. Doug Bell joins us from Augusta next.